talk some more about the forwardnesses and the backwardness. I was thinking about that when I woke up. I suppose what I was thinking about the forwardness and the backwardness was first of all like the Acon computer, because I had a couple of hanging like things going on with my yesterday, and I did wonder if you know who. I think he was playing with an Acorn the other day. Get me an Acorn, the old Apple version, the English version of the Apple. I wondered if it was that. So I mean, that sort of forwardness and backwardness, that's an old thing. And forwardness, like that. Actually, I was wondering again if some of the it's probably not some of the Laos, because they've got now better older equipment, which is harder to get into. That would make sense, wouldn't it? And they don't need so many staff for different things. That's probably not, but that might be a thing that happens. Forwardness and backwardness. I was thinking of something else as well. Well, I suppose like a Land Rover, isn't it? I'm just going to say as an example, me not knowing anything, or an old Landy, because it's what? It's like a fucking, say it. Well, it's like two bricks and a hammer. There's an engine, isn't it? It's like, well, what's gone wrong with it? Well, I don't know. It's one of these bricks has slid off the plate. If you know how to work the engine, you're like, well, what do you do? That's basically the idea, isn't it? It's good enough, it says. That might be a bad example, but that's the example I'm going to use. I was thinking of something else, forwardness and backwards. There's another thing I thought of. This has all come from Trots. So I'm going to sit and read some more of this book. I love this book so much. It's just easy. It's an easy read. I don't understand all the words, but that's good as well. It's like, isn't it? What, reading about the entire Russian Revolution and Russian Revolution is easy. It actually is. I like reading in a certain way. So what did somebody say to me before when they had a big book or something? I said, no, maybe it was someone I was talking to. They like reading non-descriptive. Wow. Basically nothing too flowery. And it's kind of like that. Utilitarian, but not completely. I don't know. It's just some things you find easier to read than others, don't you? And the history of the Russian Revolution is clearly it's made for me. What's the other thing? Forwardness and backwardness. I suppose like hanging catlit around your room. Look, that sort of thing. What have I read so far this morning? Just that Russia's picked up some people, which I presume is over the Russian border, some Ukrainians. They're in talks with the Kremlin's in talks with America. That's it, really. Forwardness and backwardness. I tell you what, that's another thing, I suppose. Forwardness and backwardness is like wearing the old hijab. That's kind of forwardness and backwardness. If it's not misunderstood. I kind of, do you know, when I was in London, in Beckton, and there's a big Muslim community in Beckton, isn't it though? And when I was on the ward, there was, clearly Muslim women talking about different things. And because I was on a mental ward, I just came out one day and I'd made a T-shirt into a hijab, which the girls all thought was hilarious. But the staff were literally, do you know what? It was interesting to wear how people, clearly it's like, I suppose. But then one of the girls goes, now you see the power of the hijab. It's like, well, yeah, actually, I kind of do. But it's the thing that comes with, you're not judged then, are you, on your looks? And you blah, blah, your looks only for your husband, so you cover yourself up and all the rest of it. So that's kind of a forwardness and backwardness. It is, isn't it? I mean, I know probably a lot of the Western feminists don't see it like that. You should be able to be free, and clearly other people see it as oppressive as well. But and I understand both sides of it, which is what I said the other day. My palm is one of my powers. I can stand back from it and see it from other angles. That's not to say I see it from all angles until they've been explained to me, or maybe like suggested. This is actually, do you know what? This is blah blah. But the power of the hijab. Now you see the power of the hijab. Yeah, I do. What was the power? Well, people were scared of it, for one, which was interesting. Why was I doing it? I just didn't want to be looked at. I don't know. I was just overtaken by spirit. I thought something else backwardsness and forwardness just now. So I suppose even say like just eating rice, or whatever, which is the dopamine detox, isn't it? That's forwardness and backwards. No, backwardsness and forwards. What do you mean? It's like a double negative, isn't it? A double negative is a positive. She's gone back to science, logic. And they were saying, well, you know, this is just, I'm not, because I don't know what's going on completely, but I'm just, how it appears at the moment, how they were saying the other day about how Putin, if he's like a, you know, a strategic chess player, he's playing like a, I don't know what, basically badly. A lot of this is probably propaganda, trying to unsettle or settle people. But the way I see it, look at seeing it, it's more strategic, isn't it? I said this yesterday though. If they are just taking out power stations, which is going to be, well, it's strategic. It's more of an irritation and less of a loss of civilian life. I was wondering about when they were shooting down these drone things as well, and how it's damaging on the ground. If maybe that's their strategy. They should be taking them down in a different place. It's like in the war, isn't it? You have the pillboxes around the side of the country, on the coast. Well, in strategic places to take out this, that, and the other. We had all the doodlebugs and stuff. I was thinking about that as well when they said they were noisy. That would be like the old doodlebugs and things. Doodle 1 and Doodle 2, which used to fly over London in the Second World War, with the Germans sent over, and they used to buzz, which is why they were called doodlebugs, and then drop. It's when they went quiet that people panicked. Well, that's right, isn't it? Do they start off? I can't remember, but you would learn from the sound, I guess, where they were in relation to you if you needed to get whatever. But yeah, going back the forwardness and backwardness, so that's strategic and taking up power stations. Clearly, I do know in an intelligence game is more, to me. Not that we want any wars on anything. I don't know what's supposed to be over, like drugs and stuff, isn't it? And houses of ill repute. I don't really know. Just somebody did say that to me earlier on. That's what it was about. That's not to say it's right. And this is the right way of dealing with it. This is the way it's being dealt with. So I'm being the child against the father. But that seems, taking out power stations seems more intelligent to me than fucking hitting it. What the hell are those nuclear missiles in the submarine? Jesus Christ. It's 50 times as more powerful as the one that took out Nagasaki. and 4 of those on a submarine with a range of 4,000 miles or something. Okay then. That just seems like I said, that seems like taking out a what? Dealing with an ingrown toenail with a fucking hammer. How would I deal with the problem of no power? Well, I've lived with no power, haven't I? I mean, genuinely lived with no power, no gas or electric last winter for an amount of time. And I know that was taken out by, I'm going to say the Masons, because I had just different conversations with people. And somebody said to me, oh, if you could have one back, which would you rather have, gas or electric? And then guess what? My electric came back on. I wasn't that bothered about living without either. It's, was it like, because I've just got that mindset. I've just put myself into that mindset, haven't I? I'm not, that's part of the, what is it? I don't know. I'm not going to be dictated to by other people. I know enough about behavioural rehabilitation and like Pavlovian conditioning and my situation. I'm not going to, that's my choice. I'm not going to be dictated to by people. Take my power, take my electric. That's not, do you know what? I'll find a way around it. I bought a radio with batteries. I know they've still probably got like say an Internet of Things thing where you could just like fry it with some fucking motherboard. But a torch and candles, and I've got books. It's like, fine, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm just, no. Do you know what? I'm not 5. Basically, what I'm saying is I've learned to live without power. A radio, you can get a wind-up radio. And candles and a gas cooker, a gas stove. I cook on gas stove, don't I? And I've still got one as backup. It's an irritation. It is an irritation. But taking out the power stations, if it's like, I don't really know, for whatever reason, it is going to be an annoyance. They'd be rude but afterwards. Less of an annoyance than, I don't know. Anyway, but as a strategy, to me, it's, we're humanists. If war's got to be a thing. I don't know how people are dying already in these countries. What about chemicals? I don't really agree with chemical warfare, no. It's like the dirty way of doing things, isn't it? There's no... It's kind of underhand. It's all underhand. Well, it is, but... I do understand snipers in certain situations. Do you know what? I understand that. Just not over my shoes, Tess, because I called you a slag. When you've been one. And that's that. Well, you were. You went off in the fucking... in a pandemic when we'd been told as civilians to behave in a certain way by our governing body for our safety and the safety of other people. Whether or not it was an exercise, it does not matter. But we're supposed to be an example to fucking other people. And this is your pissing thing, isn't it? We need to listen to elders. And you weren't doing it. That's what fucking wrangled me. But I don't do it when I went to the animal sanctuary. That was a protest of sorts. And I'd also been asked by people who worked there, I had somebody inside to go in and do it. Now, they go in and do secret filming all the time. And it was just like it was an exercise of sorts. It was an exercise of sorts. And for what is none of your fucking business. You're a bit clueless when it comes to that sort of stuff. I could have done it in a more underhand way, yes I could. But from my angle and my experience and my understanding of things, I saw what I needed to see. I needed that perspective. I needed that perspective. What did I say? Bits and pieces. Enough to put me a footing in the ground I want anyway. What else was I thinking? Yeah, basically, in a pandemic, you as a feminist for one, and stop keep going about your fucking borderline personality disorder and dragging that in as a thing. I'm autistic. Well, do you know what are you? You just said I'm autistic because I like things done in a certain way. We had that fucking argument. I said I was autistic. You said you were autistic, and then I said I wasn't autistic, and you said you weren't autistic either. And but I was, do you know what? As a standard behaviour. What was it? What was it called? Not an interview, but just working out what you are actually doing. You don't seem to fucking know what you're doing. And if you come in as an agent of intelligence, you weren't showing very much. Your tone of voice, I know mine does it sometimes, breaks. And it's just, you look for these things, don't you? I've been trained in security. She may have been trained in security as well. In fact, you said you were trained to be a lawyer. Were you trained to be a lawyer? You're retrained to be a lawyer? Get my fucking shoes back then. Anyway, why does the feminist angle come into it? Well, in a pandemic, we've been told to stay away, blah, 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 which I was managing to do. And we did have some, I had no bubble at all. So she turned up. We had a couple of meetings, which I was trying to do outside. I'd set up some tables outside. And then she spent a night in Alexis, who she'd already been told and been going on about that she was obsessed over. He didn't like her. That was her thing that was coming. He doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. He said all this stuff. He's not answering his texts. So she ended up going there, spending the night, rubbing herself all over a clit. I orgasmed, but he didn't insert his penis. So do you know what? You've told me too much in this situation. And you're supposed to be a feminist. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you behaving like this? That's the opposite to me of what feminism is. You need that person so badly that in a pandemic, he said he doesn't like you. He's not interested in you, or whatever. No, she hadn't. She stated that he didn't like her. Why doesn't he like me? Why doesn't he like me? I don't know. Maybe because you do shit like this. I don't know. That's not what feminism is. Well, do you know... Fuck knows then, do you know what? So I said she was dumb slag. I did. I don't care. And I still think she's a dumb slag because she went off with all my fucking stuff. All my stuff. And historically, she's done it as well. And it's just... God. Not a healthy way to behave for somebody in a position of authority, that's what. And so much other stuff. Elon. I just don't care. I fucking hate women as well. He doesn't hate women though, does he? He's probably one of the most, he appears to be quite balanced in a lot of ways. I mean, he's a fucking idiot, but that's what makes him funny. That's what I like. That's why I like. I think Mandy used to like that. I love Elon. At the time I thought, you know, you're just a fucking plum, mate. What the fuck are you doing with him spunking all that money on long rockets trying to get to Mars? You're a fucking idiot. But that's why I laugh so much when rockets exploded before they got in the sky. But I know that's forward movement. You have to try these things. I know you have to experiment. You do. It's just like, well, you're just burning money. But in a way, I like that. Environmentally, I don't know if I do, but do you know what? This is why I cheer I kind of cheer and I don't when all Mark's money's disappearing. It's like from the Buddhist in me, just get rid of it as quickly as possible. That's why I jokingly say that about money all the time. It just burns straight through my pocket. And I say to people, it's just money, it's a tool of the devil. I have to get rid of it as quickly as possible. I can't have it around me. It's evil, it's got to go. I mean, I know you need enough. But on the other hand, it's like, you know what? In that culture, it's probably a bit of a fucking nightmare. And people do see things differently, don't they? And then you've got that whole baggage of how people look at you. You're a fucking idiot. You've lost your money. Ha ha. I know. Ha. You have lost your money. From another angle, it's actually, do you know what? It's a good thing. It's a good thing, and it's going to someone else's hands for them to deal with the issue of how it's spent. Because that's my other thing with money. I mean, you have a responsibility, an ethical responsibility, to make sure that money's not spent on damaging things. That's how I now think, anyway. So, I mean, even if you're paying other people, if they're spending that money on drugs, you are supplying the drugs chain. I know it's not that simple once it's out of your hands. It's you know, it's not your responsibility, but it is, in a way, which is why I don't like having money and the responsibility of giving other people to spend on other stuff. Now, I swings and roundabouts, I know. I do sometimes do it to give to people so they can spend it on drugs. Because we call that easing the ride, the homeless community. But that's just me. Then clearly I've talked my way around the whole thing. I'm giving you all an escape route of your own. The best Elon and Mark says not carrots. No one's best. Everyone's different. They're just slightly different roles, aren't they? I just talk about what's in my feed, and if I've just put loads of Elon Musk in my feed at the moment, doing this, that, and the other, well, I'm just sort of, I don't know enough to make statements on, you know, the reasons behind people are doing the sackings or whatever. But I've just seen it's got that Indian guy, so he's probably going to be influencing some way. And you know what? He may have another. Maybe it's another double negative thing. We head for business, a slightly different way of doing business. I don't know. I'm sure these people aren't dumb people. And with the whole redistribution of power thing that was going on, the Great Reset that was being talked about a while back, things are going to be changing, fluctuating in a different way. It's an evening out of society. This came up at the beginning of the pandemic with the astral thing, and I put a few letters through people's doors in a completely 11 manner. Didn't hear back from anyone, but it said about the way the stars were placed at that moment in time historically was always a great time of social change. There was always massive social change happened in a time when the stars were and in that placement. Now these things don't happen instantly, do they? They happen over a period of time. So you have to sort of think, okay, well this may be, and I've said that as well. If it looks bad, maybe it's just sometimes things look worse before they look better. So in a bigger picture situation, MA positive thing. And I think the metaverse thing, just to focus on that, and Mark, it's like, well, and people going on, it's like a bag of shit, it's a bag of shit, it's a bag of shit, it's a bag of shit. So who fucking cares if it's a bag of shit? He clearly likes to do, that's the bag of shit he likes to do. It's his fucking life. If he wants to do this bag of shit thing, let him do the bag of shit thing. I like doing this bag of shit thing. This person likes doing that bag of shit thing. Someone else, maybe that's the backwardness and forwardness. That's his thing. Let him just fucking do it. Christ's sake, maybe he doesn't want to be clearing up other people's shit all the time. That's all Facebook is, isn't it? People fucking arguing about everything. And well, it's probably the same in the metaverse. Well, maybe it is, but maybe it's going to be different. Maybe it's just going to be, I don't know. If it's just done like The Sims, it's going to be just kids, isn't it? Which is probably the other thing he liked doing, is helping kids. And that sort of pastoral angle of things, I don't fucking know. It's a bag of shit. It's a bag of shit. Why don't you go and play Call of Duty then? Everyone moans about kids not doing that. It's not for kids. This isn't. But I don't fucking know. Don't do this bag of shit thing. Go and do something else. Go and do something high art. I'll just read Trotsky. And I think of something else to moan about. Minecraft. I mean, Christ, that was about as fucking basic as a bag of chips for every day of the year of your life. That was a bit of a sensation, wasn't it? Christ. You probably think it's a bag of shit because you don't understand it. You've been spoiled. I don't really know. That might not be true, but don't do this bag of shit thing. The history of revolution for us all is forcible entrance to the masses, the realm of rulership over their own destiny. There we go, that's perfect. I'm sad there's not a picture of Trotsky in here. But I'm not at the same time. Leon Trotsky. Oh, translated by Max Eastman. Leon Trotsky, 1879-1940, was a Ukrainian-born Bolshevik, revolutionary, and Marxist theorist who became one of the leaders of the Russian October Revolution. Second only to Lenin, he was expelled from the Communist Party and deported from the Soviet Union in the 1920s, and eventually assassinated in Mexico by Stalinist agent in 1940. Max Eastman was an American writer, editor, prominent radical. In 1922, he travelled to Russia to study the Soviet regime, witnessed the power struggles between Lenin and Trotsky and Joseph Stalin. On his return to the United States, he wrote prolifically about socialism, Stalinist Russia, and many books include The Since Lenin Died, Marx, Lenin, and the Science of Revolution, The End of Socialism in Russia, and Stalin's Russia, and the Crisis in Socialism. Marx Lenin, isn't he? Doesn't he choose Lenin over Stalin? He's a wanker. This is what we figure out all the time. What is he? That's why you have to have an opposing energy, don't you? You have to have something to push against. It's not healthy always to be too much the same as people. There's no growth. Is that true? It's true enough, I suppose. Well, echo chambers then, isn't it? I think. Yosef. How do you say it? Salem. That's not how you say it. Salem. My Russian's not good. Nothing's good, they say. It's very like you. It's the backwardness and forwardness. He liked Stalin because he was more of an imposing figure. A Taurus. I don't know if that's true. One more backwards and forwards thing. Well, eating weeds, isn't it? It's like all these antibiotic resistant viruses. How we treat them? Load of weeds, mate. Just find different ones. The ones we used before were no good, so you just go back to weeds. Tarot, that's backwards and forwards and backwards, isn't it? I liked that the other day. It's great to have involved grandparents. Well, it is. I still talk to mine and they're dead. And they were what? They're in the Secret Service. It's like, it's great to have involved grandparents. It's true. I often think it's people goading me because, you know, say my daughter who's now got involved grandparents who I've no idea who they are because, you know why? That circle of fucking governance. But just enjoy your fucking involved grandparents and enjoy them. Just fucking enjoy them. Your Stalinist grandparents. You're fucking child of Trotsky, you arsehole. I don't care about that. You don't care about your real blood. Well, good. I don't care about you then. You'll fuck off. Do your own thing. Do your own socialist agenda. Learn about me when I'm dead. You won't know me. You'll never know fucking me. I don't want you to know me. You're a child of society and a child of mine. That's the other thing though, isn't it? That's not entirely true, but I remember reading after the menopause, you know, it's you go through that whole, other than that with the Nine of Pentacles, when she's looking at the bird, it's the fledgling thing, isn't it? And sometimes, often, stereotypically the same, like with Jewish women. Somebody said this to me, actually, the Jewish man, that I'd done really well because often Jewish mothers can't let go of their children, which can be a hindrance in development.